Model 4 has fine, thin brows, so I'm going to show you how I would perform the brow lamination treatment on these type of brows. So I'm going to start off by going in with the brow shampoo, just gently coating the brows in the shampoo. Same on the other side. I'm then going to remove the product just with some dry cotton pads. So the products that I'm using for this brow lamination are Thuya. So before I go in with step 1, I'm going to gently just brush my client's brows upwards. I'm then going to apply step 1, just root to tip. Using the micro brush, just applying the product root to tip. You're then going to want to set your timer and then apply the cling film. So apply the cling film just quite tight and then just press round the brow. Same on the other side, pulling quite firmly and then just patting round the brow, never on top of the brow. So I would leave these brows for about 2 minutes and then check them. With a client that's got finer brows, you have to really be careful and check them quite often because they're more at risk of over processing. So after 2 minutes, I'm just going to remove the cling film and just gently brush through the client's brows. But as you can see already, we're starting to get the brows to lie flat. I'm going to just put a wee bit more product on. I'm going to cover this brow again. Same on the other side, just remove the cling film and just gently brush through the brow. Just going to apply a wee bit more product using my micro brush. And just clean up any products on the skin. I'll put this over for another minute or so. Again, so important with finer brows that you're checking them to avoid over processing. So after about a minute or so, you're going to want to check the brows again. So remove the cling film, just gently brush the hairs. So I'm just going to apply a bit of product at the end of this brow because I feel like it's just sticking up a wee bit. I'm then going to reapply the cling film. So same on the other brow, gently just combing through using the interdental brush. And then going through with some more product. wee tip that I've seen on Instagram is if you can brush the brow hairs up and they don't move, that's a sign that the product's ready to come off. So these aren't moving when I'm brushing them up, so it's time to get this product off. So we're now at the 6-minute mark, so I feel like these brows are pretty laminated, so we're going to want to get this product off now. So I'm just going in with the makeup buds, they're really removing them. Once I've removed the cling film, I'm just going to check through with the micro brush. And then I'm going to remove the product with a dry makeup bud. As you can see, that's only 6 minutes of this product, so you do need to be really mindful when you're checking your client's brows, just to ensure you're not over processing them. So after you've thoroughly removed your step 1, we're going to go in with step 2. So again, just applying the product at the front of the brow, root to tip, using your micro brush. Same on the other side, starting at the fronts and just taking the product through to the tail, root to tip. You're then going to want to set your timer for exactly the same time as step 1, which in this case was 6 minutes. Once you've done that, I usually just gently comb through the hairs. You're going to want to be very, very gentle with your wee brush. And then I just go back in and coat all the hairs with step 2. Same on this side, very, very gently take your brush through. And then just coat the brows again. You're wanting to just make sure there's plenty of product on each brow and that every single wee hair has been covered. If there's any product on the skin, just tidy it up. And I don't really tend to touch the brows after this, but remember, if you do have a wee look at your brows and there's a wee bit that's not got as much product on it, then you're wanting to reapply the product. Sometimes the hairs can soak up a lot of the product, so just be careful that you're always watching the brows, and if they need any more product applied, then do apply it. So after 6 minutes, I'm going to remove step 2 with some damp makeup buds. I'm then going to go in with a damp cotton pad and just sweep it through the brows. Same on the other side. Damp makeup buds, just removing all the product. And then going in with the damp cotton pad. I'm then just going to go in with a dry makeup bud and just dry off the brows. So I'm going to go in with the tint now. I'm going to precision tint these brows, and the tint that I'm using is Brow Code in light brown. So just starting at the front of the brow and just kind of making a line from the bottom of the brow right along to the tail. Same on the other side, starting at the bottom of the brow and just taking the product right along to the tail. The brush that I'm using is my favourite MayAmy angled brush. It's just so precise. And then going to feather the product through the brow. So because of how fine these brows are, we're not going to have to leave this tint on for very long at all. My client does quite like her brows quite dark, but the colour takes so quickly, especially because they're laminated and the hairs are so porous. So I'm going to set a timer for about 4 minutes, but I'm going to keep checking the brows. I'm going to just clean up the bottom of the brows just so we can get that nice precise finish. I'm then going to just very gently comb the tint through. So after a minute or so, you're going to want to remove the fronts of the brows. So just take a dry makeup bud and just remove the tint from the front. Just so you're not getting a blocky look. And then you're just going to leave the rest to process for another few minutes. So after around 4 minutes, we're going to remove the rest of the tint from the brows. I'm just going in with a dry makeup bud and just sweeping through the brow. Same on the other side, just dry makeup bud, just sweeping it through until we get to the tail. So after I've removed all the tint, I'm just going to go in with some tint remover on a lipstick wand and just go round the brows just to clean up if there's any wee stains present on the skin. We'll just get rid of them. Again, I'm just using the Reflecticil sensitive tint remover. So I'm now just going to go in with step 3, and as I've said in the previous videos, I use MayAmy step 3. I'm just taking it through the brows with a lipstick wand. And then I'm just going through with the micro brush. I feel like these brows sit quite nicely, so I don't really feel like I need to go in with the interdental brush at this point. I can just use a micro brush because they're quite fine. They actually move pretty easily. Same on this brow, just taking step 3 through the brow on a lipstick wand. Just letting it soak into the brows. And then through with the micro brush. If you feel that you've got any tint residue or product residue, then you can just clean round the brows using your lipstick wand. So final step, I'm going to go in with the highlighter using the Buff Brows highlighting palette in shade Champagne. Just starting at the front of the brow and just pulling the product round to the tail. I'm then just going to blend the product down. And just pat with my fingers. Other side, just starting at the front of the brow, just create a line right round to the tail. And then just blend the product down. And I'm just going to pat again with my fingers. So here we have the finished look. I didn't actually trim these brows at all. I didn't really feel that they needed it. So we've got that nice fluffy feathered look. So now that you've seen how I would laminate fine brow hairs, I just want to highlight one of the main points of laminating fine and thin brow hairs. You're going to want to check them often so that you don't risk over processing the brows. So after you've applied the cling film, leave it a minute or so and then make sure that you're checking the brows, because what you don't want to happen is for you to over process the brows.